Today I am going to show you how we configure a network that looks like the network you see here in this packet tracer. I do have two computers here, two switches and one router. Now, before I do anything, I do have a Word document here which I'm going to complete all the calculations there, and then I'm going to come back to this packet tracer file. Now, before I start, let me just highlight some points here. First thing is, this part here that I highlighted here, it's going to be called networking A, or network A. This part here is going to be called network B. So basically, I do have two networks here. Network A is connected to network B through router R0. And this port here is basically the default gateway for network A. And this port here is the default gateway for network B. Every single computer will need to have an IP address, a subnet mask, and a default gateway for this computer and for this switch and for this computer and for this switch. The router, on the other hand, we're just going to go ahead and assign IP addresses for those ports. Of course, I'm going to get all the calculations done for Ipv4 and Ipv6, and we'll see what's going to happen later on. So let me just go and jump to the Word document. As you can see here, this is the same network. I just highlighted network A, network B. I created multiple tables here, so we're going to fill all these cells with the correct information. Now, before I do anything, let me just tell you that I decided that the whole network, those two networks all together, will have an IP address version 4 of 192.168.75.0 with a prefix of 25. And same thing for Ipv6. Both the whole network will have an IP address 6 with 2000 DP8 ACAD : 0. Now we're going to fill up those cells, as I said, fill up those cells. And here are more information. For the Ipv4, this is the network I said. And then for network A, we will have 20 devices. And for network B, we'll have 5 devices. Now remember, all of those number of devices basically going to be used only for Ipv4. With Ipv6, I don't care about the number of devices. I do always have more than I can handle. So I don't need to worry about how many devices I'm going to have for each network. I will have more than enough, at least at this level. So here we go. This table here for each one of those network A, network B for Ipv4, Ipv6, network B for Ipv4, and for Ipv6, network A and network B. What I'm going to do, I am going to push those tables down to the next page, and I'm going to use this page here, this empty one, for the calculations. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and start my calculations using this Ipv4. Now, first thing I need to do, I'm going to get this Ipv4 here, and let's reduce the font size a little bit. Make it 12. Okay. Now, this is my decimal presentation for Ipv4. First thing I need to do, I convert it to a binary. So basically, the binary presentation. Now, I'm going to do it fast. You need a calculator, you need a piece of paper to do the calculation. Do it the way you like. And here we go. This is 192. And I believe this is 168. 75, I don't know. Let's go ahead and do the calculations. So here it is. And I'm just going to copy it from here. And I'm going to put it here. So this is 75. And the 0 section is going to be 8 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 4. Okay, now this is basically my IP address in binary. Now I need to highlight the network portion and the host portion. Now, as you can see here, it's 27. This is all the way. Let me just go here. This is the 24, 25, 26, and 27. Oh, come on. Oh, why did I say 27? It's 25. My bad. Again, this is 24, and this is 25. So let's highlight that part. So this is going to be the network portion, and the yellow portion highlighted zeros are the host portion. Now, we remember that since I need 20 devices in this network, we know the rule to find out how many bits I need to keep in the network portion to be able to have 20 devices. Or I already have 7, so I need to figure out how many of those 7 I need to keep to be able to create a network with that can hold and assign 20 different devices. The idea here is to use this formula. Let me just correct it. So 2 to the power of h minus 2 should always be greater or equal 20. Now, as I said, I am not going to waste time with calculations because I already showed you how to do that. If I pick 4 for h, I'm going to have 2 to the power of 4, which is 16. 16 minus 2, it's 14. And 14 is not greater than 20, so 4 is not enough. If I pick 5, 2 to the power of 5 is 32. 32 minus 2 is 30, so 30 is greater than 20, so that's correct. So I'm going to go with h equal 5. Now, before I continue, I already answered one of the questions, which is basically how many devices I can have if I'm going to go with this number of bits for the host portion, which basically is 30. Remember, I am just going to go ahead and do it here. 2 to the power of 5 minus 2 equals 30, and that basically is the number of devices I can have in this network. Devices. Now immediately I can go to the table, and for network A, number of devices, I can have 30 devices. Okay, so I got this part covered. Now, since I am going to go ahead and keep 5 bits, so if I copy this and move down, I'm going to highlight those 5 bits with a different color now. Let's go ahead and use green. Now, how many bits left? Basically 2. 2 bits are left, and I can add them to the network portion. So I'm just going to go ahead and change the color here to be 2. Now, I am going to go ahead and put a line underneath it so you know that those are the 2 bits that I borrowed from the network portion. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and use this network IP address for network A, which basically is going to be 192, I'm converting back to decimal, 168, 75, and 0. Again, remember, I didn't flip any zeros and ones, so it's still 0. But the difference here is going to be what? The number, the prefix. Previously it was 25. Now I'm borrowing 2 bits, so it's going to be 27 instead of 25. Remember here, previously it was 25. I'm adding 2 bits to it, so it's going to be 27. This here is the network network A IP address. I can copy that, go down, and put it here. Now remember, this is the IP address. Let's take that away. And now the prefix is 27. And now you want to know what is the subnet mask? Well, 255.255.255. And then I do have 3 zeros, 3 ones, sorry. If I want to go ahead and show you what is the subnet for this one, it's basically this here is basically the subnet. Now, if I convert that to decimal, it's going to be 255.255.255, and the last one is 3 ones and 5 zeros. I think that's 224. But again, I don't want to make assumptions. Let's just go ahead and 224 and see. Yep, it's 224, just like I said. So this is going to be my subnet mask. Now, again, if you follow this strategy when you answer the questions, you should be fine. You should have no problems completing the skill exam on time without worrying about anything. Okay, so here we go. Now we need to figure out what will be the first available IP address, what will be the last available IP address, and what will be the broadcast, and what will be the default gateway. Now, for the default gateway, we usually use the first available IP address for the default gateway. So I can just come here and change this to 1, and that will be the default gateway. But again, I don't want to do that. I want to do it using the binary representation. So all of those are going to be done using the binary. So let's go ahead and type first. Go up. all I have to do here is to flip this 0 to 1. And if I do that, I will get, basically, everything is going to be the same except this part is going to be 1. So I will get the IP address for the first one to be, as I said, just flip this to be 1. Now there's a reason why I'm doing it with binary, which basically is going to be shown when I'm going to talk about the broadcast. So let me just copy this and put it down here. Now, we usually, unless you've been told something else, we usually use the first available IP address for the default gateway. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it here. Remember here, the IP address for IPv4 usually is the default. The first available IP address is the default gateway. Now we need to figure out what is the broadcast and what is the last available IP address. Okay, I'll check that out later. Let's go up here and let's talk about the broadcast. Now, for the broadcast, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it here. What do we do with broadcast? Basically, the host portion has to be flipped all to 1s, and that basically will be the broadcast IP address. So all I have to do is to take those 5 zeros away and put them as 5 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This here is the broadcast. Let's go ahead and type it here. Broadcast. Okay, now let's go back here and highlight this to be the same color, which basically means if I let's go ahead and convert this into binary decimal. Sorry, so I'm going to get 192, 168, 75. I don't need this. The subnet mask basically is going to be the same. We don't have to worry about that part. And here we go. What is this 4 1s? Well, I believe this is 15. Oh, sorry, 14 plus 6, 31. And let's just go ahead and make sure. Again, when you do this for a real long time, it gets a lot easier. So I got how many zeros? I got 3 zeros and 5 1s. 0. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Here it is. 5 1s and 3 zeros and 5 1s, so it's basically 31. That's the broadcast. So I can copy that and go down, and I'm going to put it as a broadcast. Oops, wrong place. Okay, so this is a broadcast. Now, what do we do after that? Well, we need to go and check what will be the last available IP address. The last available IP address basically going to be the broadcast minus 1. So, if you don't want to do it that way, here's what we can do. Let's go down here. Last. And let's put it here. All you have to do is just flip this 1 to 0, and that will give you the last available IP address. Now, or you can subtract 1 from this IP address, and you will get it. So since this is 31, so this is going to be 30, 0. I'm getting a lot of emails. So let's copy this and go down and put that as the last available IP address. As you can see here, I filled this table so fast, and it was very, very easy. Now, let's start with IPv4 calculations. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to take all of this away, and I'm going to take all of this away, and I'm going to look at this. This is basically the IP address that we had from the previous network. Now remember, I borrowed 2 bits from this IP address to the previous IP address, to original IP address for the network portion. So what I need to do, I need to ask myself, oh, I need 5 devices here. Now, I will do the same thing here. First of all, before I do anything, I know 00 has been reserved for network A. So I need to move to the second available IP address, which is 01. So that will be the first thing that I will change. This is going to be 0, 1. Remember here, let's go back here. Previously, I ended up borrowing 2 bits. And I used the combination of 0, 0 for A. Now when I move to B, I cannot use 0, 0 again, because 0, 0 altogether, that network has been reserved for network A. So I have to move on to the next available network, which is going to be basically 0, 1. Is that the only option? No, you can go 1, 0, or you can go 1, 1, or you can go, yeah, you have 4 options basically. So you can go 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, or 1, 1. Now I'm just going to go to the next one, which is basically 0, 1. Now, that'll be number 1. You change this bit to be 1. The second step is to actually ask yourself, how many bits do I need to keep out of those 5 to be able to have 5 devices? Well, we're going to ask the same, you're going to see the same formula. Minus 2 should always be greater or equal 5. And let's just put this h to be the power here. Now you need to ask yourself that question, and of course, let's go ahead. If I use 3, 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and 8 minus 2 is 6, and 6 is greater than 5, so yeah, 3. I can actually use 3 bits. So I can go here and say h equal 3. Now, with that being said, now I can tell that the number of devices is going to equal 6. Remember, how did I give the 6? Because 2 to the power of 3 is 8, 8 minus 2 is 6, and that's basically the case here. So let me copy this, and I'm going to come here and say for IPv, I can have 6 devices. I need 5, but 6 will be more than enough. Okay, so I answered that question. Now, since I'm going to have 3 bits only, I only need 3 bits, so what I can do here, I can reserve those 3 bits. I'm going to highlight them now to, let's say, gray. And those 2 bits are going to be borrowed and added to the network portion. So I need to highlight, what can I do here to make it look different? Let me increase the font size a little bit. Here we go. So those 2 bits here basically are going to be borrowed from the network, from the host portion, and is going to be added to the network portion. So this will be my network IP address. Now, how many options do I have? I can have a lot of options. I can have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. But again, for simplicity, I'm just going to use the first available, which is 0, 0. Now, let's go down and let's look at this. How do I convert this into decimal? Actually, I don't need to go down. This is going to be 192, 168, 75, dot. Look at this. I got 1 here. So that's basically what? 32. And then how many bits do I have for the prefix here? Well, remember, it's 32, so wait a minute, this one was 27, 28, 29. So this is basically going to be 29. That's the prefix. So from this part, I can copy this, and I'm going to go down and put this as the IP address. The prefix is going to be, as I said, 29. And this basically means, since it's 29, I am going to have 29 ones, so 8, and then another 8, and then another 8. That's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then 30, 31, 32. This is my subnet mask. Now, if I want to convert that to a binary, I know all of those are going to be 25, 255, 255. I just need to figure out what will be here. So 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot, and let's go ahead to the why do I keep closing it? Calculator. And let's click on binary. I said how many? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3. 248. 248. and that will be my subnet mask. Let's copy that, and let's go put it as a subnet mask. I need to figure out those 4 values now, which basically it's an easy task. Let me copy this IP address here in binary. One advice that I have, actually, if you work in binary, chances to make mistakes are always there, whether it's binary or decimal. But I personally feel if I work in binary, I'm not going to make mistakes. But if I go and do decimal, I might end up making mistakes because I'm going to try to make it done faster, and sometimes some things will just go away. So let's talk about the first available IP address. And here we go. What did we say about the first available IP address? You just flip the last one, 0 here to be 1. Well, we'll just put it back to be 0 just like it was. And let me cut this. Let me copy it, sorry. I said copy, Control P again. And this is, again, my IP address. And for the first available IP address, all I have to do is just flip this one 0 to 1. And that basically means I will end up having what? Just remember, whatever the IP address you have for the network, add 1 to it, and you get yourself the first available IP address, 192.168.75.33. And here we go. This is the first available IP address. And let's go down and post it. First available. And I also said we usually use the first available IP address for the default gateway. Now, let me just tell you something here before I forget. Sometimes Cisco people, they like to, trick you to make mistakes. Instead of using the first available IP address, they will tell you use the last available IP address. Again, that should not be a problem for you. That should be a piece of cake. So let's go ahead and figure out what would be the broadcast here. Now remember, the broadcast is to take the IP address in binary and flip all the the host portion into 1s. So it's going to be 1, 1, 1. And that's, again, a case where really you need to do it in binary. So I can tell this is on 92.168.75, but I'm not sure about what is this number here. So I need to use a calculator. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. What do we have? We have 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. Oops. 1, 0, 0, 1. Oh my God, why is it? It's binary. So 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, and that's 39. That makes a lot of sense because if you think about it, it's 32 plus 7, so 39. Let's go ahead and put that number. I closed it again, of course. This is the broadcast, so 192.168.75.39. Now, do I really have to tell you what to do next? What will be the last available IP address? Well, again, if I copy this and I put it down here, let me just highlight this with yellow so that makes a little bit more sense. All I have to do is to flip the last 0 to be 1 from the broadcast, and that will be my last available IP address. Now, I don't even need to do the calculation because basically I need to subtract 1 from here, so that's going to make it 38. So 192.168, 75, and 38. Okay, let me copy this. I'm going to go all the way down here and put it here. And let me fix this and make it. And here we go. This is me finishing the calculations of IPv4. And as you can see here, I don't know how long did that take. It's going to be shown later on when you're going to look at the video. Now, right after this, we can get this part covered, the IPv6 part. Now, with IPv6, since this is my IP address, let me just copy it from here. I'm going to go down immediately here. So the IP address, I'm going to have two IP addresses here. And all I have to do basically to narrow subnet this, this basically is 64 prefix. So I got four decimal digits, four decimal digits here. I still have 4 decimal digits in this area here to type. And this is basically what I'm going to be using to subnetting. Again, you have, I don't want to tell you how many possibilities. It's in millions of different networks. Make it easy for yourself and just call it A. And I'll do the same thing here. And this will be B. So this is basically the IP address of the network for A and for the network of B. Now, the prefix, no change is going to be applied, so it's always going to be 64. And then the default gateway. Now this part is a little bit critical, and I am going to talk about it right now, and then we'll talk about it also again later when it comes to the implementation. So I'm just going to keep, let me change this to unfolded. Okay, now the default gateway for each one of those networks, let me just go to the graph again. Oops, what happened here? Okay, this port here is the default gateway for this network, and this port here is the default gateway for this network. We usually use the link local IP address that we're going to assign later to each one of those ports to be the default gateway. And we talked about what is a link local before. Link local basically is going to be used for internal communication within the network. So usually, and this is something we usually do, as I said, we just go FE80::1, and we use the same default gateway for the other network. And I'm done with my calculations. And I want you to just see how easy IPv6 was comparing to IPv4. Now that I'm done, I need to come here and assign IP addresses here. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about router 1. Router 1 has two ports, one port from this side and one port from this side. Let's open the network and click and put the mouse here. Tell me, what is this? Oh, this is G00 and this is G01. G00 is connected to A and G01 is connected to B, so we need to go ahead and use the default gateway for G0 and the default gateway for G01. And I'm going to print this page after I'm done. Now the subnet mask for each one of them, well, here's the subnet mask for the first one. It's very important to have all this information ready for you when it comes to the configuration, so you can save yourself a lot of time. And this one was 248, I believe. Let's just make sure that I didn't make any mistakes here. 248. Okay. Now, for the VLAN for switch 1, well, for network 1, you can use any IP addresses. Just copy this from here. Let me copy those two. Oh, before I do that, let's use the right default gateway. So switch 0 is connected to network A. So the default gateway is going to be this one. PC 0 is connected to network A. So that will be the default gateway. And the same thing is going to be applied for the other default gateway. So this is going to be this one, and this one will be for this one, the PC1 and the switch 1. Now, the subnet mask is not going to change for each network, so you make sure that you put the right subnet for the right switch, right computer, and the right subnet mask, again, for the right switch and the right computer. Finally, this will be the IP address that I'm going to use for the default gateway. So I'm going to put here, for example, 10 for the switch, and for this one I'm going to put 100. Again, I can use, wait a minute, I don't want to go with 100. That basically might pass my limits. So instead of 100, let's just put 20. Remember, how many devices that we said we can have in each network? This one needs 20, so let's go less. I'm going to put 10 here, I'm going to put 15 here. Remember, not any numbers. My bad. Just remember, you are limited. Here you've got 20 devices, so you want to make sure that you're not going to pass the limit of the IP address that you have here. So 1015 looks or sounds really, really reasonable. For the second network, I'm going to use, since the last available IP address, this is basically could be really helpful. Go here. This is the last available IP address, which is 30, so you know you should be between 1 and 30. And for this one, the first available is 33 and the last available 38, so I should be between those two. Since I'm using 33 here, I can use 35 here. And for this one, I can use 36 or 37. Okay, so I finished filling up this table. And now I need to go and do the same thing for IPv6. Let me just copy this for the first network. And let's put it here. Now this is a little bit critical, so I am going to assign 1 here instead of 0 for this default gateway. And for the second one, we said basically we're going to use B, and we're going to put 1 here. So I'm going to assign those two ports to those two gates. Now, one very important information, the default gateway for all of these networks, just like I said before here, is going to be FE800 colon 1. And that's going to be the link local for all of them. So that's the link local for each one of them. Now, usually with switches, we don't assign IPv6. I'm going to try to do that later, but let's just go ahead and I might come back to this one and change it. So let me just copy this and put, I'm going to go with 10, for example, for this one. And for this one, I'm going to go with 20. Sorry, this is going to be 10 again, but this is going to be B instead of 10. Now, for the IPv0, for the PC0 and PC1, let me just go to the network itself and show you what's going to happen. We have two options. Come on. Here we go. If you go desktop and go to this IP address, you'll notice that I have two options here. I don't have, the DSCP is not applicable here because I don't have a server connected to the network. So I can actually manually assign all the IP addresses, or I can do auto configuration. I am going to go with the auto configuration. Auto configuration basically means when you finish configuring your router, the router basically will take responsibility to assign the IP address and the default gateway for your computer automatically. So that will make our job a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do for now, let me just go back to, I'm going to leave those sections empty, and later on I am going to go ahead and see whatever the router is going to assign to me. Okay, now that I'm done with this part, let me just make sure my printer is on, and let me print this page. Control P. Control P, yes. Do I want to print both of them? No, just the first page. Okay, so while I'm waiting for my printer to print that page, let's see here. I got a lot of emails. I'll check them out later. By the way, I am going to post this file, the Word document, and I'm going to post the packet tracer document, and I'm going to post the video, of course, so you can use them later to get ready for the chapter exam. So let's minimize this. Actually, do I really need to minimize it? I'm done with it. I'm going to keep it for now just for you guys. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, let's start one by one. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go each device and configure it. Let's start with PC0. Go to this configuration. And now, the IP address for PC0 is 192.168.75. We said 15. The subnet mask is not 255.255.254, and the default gateway is going to be 1. I am done with this network, with this device, sorry. And I said I'm going to leave the IPv6 for now. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the PC2. 192.168.75.30. What did I say? 37. And this is going to be 248. And remember, the default gateway is going to be 192.168.75. What is the default gateway for? That's 33. And now I am done with this computer. Now I need to go ahead and configure the switch. I'm going to go ahead and do the passwords and all these kind of things that we've been doing so far. I'm not going to spend a long time explaining what I'm doing because we already know what am I supposed to do. So let me try to increase the font size here. So it should be physical view, no. Okay, this is not going to be easy. This is going to take time. Tools, custom device dialog. Do you guys change the names every time? Yeah, it looks like they do. No. Preferences. That's basically what they call it. Nothing here. Nothing here. Preferences, here. Okay. Font. Yes. Router, iOS, text. Why is it telling me just about the routers? CLI. Okay, here it is. Let's go ahead and increase that from 18 to 14. Apply. Let's see if that's the case. Here we go. Yes, it worked. Okay, so here we go. Switch. Now enable. Configure. Terminal. Okay, what do we want to do? Well, let's try to, let me do the IP addresses first, and then I will try to get the other parts done. The first thing I'm going to say, interface VLAN 1. And then I will type IP address. And the IP address that I'm going to go with the VLAN 1 is 192.168.75. And remember, if you go back to the Word document, I chose 10 for it. 255.255.255.224. And then after that, no shutdown to turn it up. And then after that, I can exit. And then after that, I can type IP default gateway 192.168.75. And the IP address default gateway for the VLAN 1 from the table is 1. Now if I exit, that should be done. Let's go ahead and try to configure stuff. So I'm going to go configure terminal. I'm going to say host name switch A, or switch network A, or switch ASA. Banner, message of the day, get out. Again, remember you can type any message you want. That's the banner. Let's say enable secret. I'm going to jump into a secret. I'm going to call it CIST117. And then I'll go line console 0. And then here we go, password. And I'm going to go with Cisco. Remember, log in. And then exit, and then line VTY024. Same thing, password, Cisco, login, exit, and then service, password encryption, get it encrypted. So I got all the passwords, I got it encrypted, I got the message, banner of the day, I got all the IP addresses, so everything should be fine. I hope I didn't forget anything. Let's exit and let's go show running, and this basically will tell you everything. The host name, this is the secret password, those are the interfaces, this is the default gateway, so it's correct, this is the IP address of VLAN 1, this is the message of the day, this is the password encrypted, and the V2I encrypted. and everything looks okay so far. I need to do the same thing here for this switch. CLI, enable, configure terminal. I forgot something very important to save my work, so let's go ahead and do that. Copy, running, startup. Okay, I got everything. Let's go back here. Now, let's start with the passwords interface. VLAN1. Now, IP address 192, I forgot 168, 75, and let's go back here. What is the VLAN? It's 35. That's what I chose. And the 255.255.255.248. No shutdown, and then exit. After that, IP default gateway 192.168.75. I think that's 33. I got that part covered. And now host name switch B, and now I can say banner message of the day. Get in, get out. So this is, let's go with the password. Enable secret. We said CIST117. Line console 0. There's a space. And then password Cisco login. And then exit VTY 024. Of course, I have to type line. And then same password, same login, and exit. Exit. Show running. Make sure that, okay, here it is, here it is. This is it. This is it. Oh, basically this is again, why do we do this? I forgot to encrypt it. So configure terminal, service, password, encryption, exit, running, copy. Are you sure? Yes, blah, blah, blah. Now that I've finished IPv4, I'm going to go ahead and try IPv6. Let's just give that a try. Configure terminal. I remember in the exam you're not going to be asked about that, but let's just go ahead and do it. Config terminal, IP, what do I do? I'll enter VLAN1, and then IPv6 address. Yep, I think I know IPv6 address. He doesn't like it. That's why I said I'm not sure if I have to do that or not. Yep, so there will be no IP addresses for the VLAN. Let's just get that out. Exit, and I am done with the switches. Let me go ahead and update my Word document here. I don't need this here. Take that out. Okay, so I finished the switches and the networks. Let's go ahead and do, would you like to go with the dialog? No, I don't want to go with dialog. Enable, configure terminal, host, name, R, just R, okay. Banner, message of the day, get out. Enable secret CIST 117 line for line what? Line console 0 password Cisco login login exit VTY04 line VTY04 password, Cisco, login, exit, password, service, password, encryption, exit, and let's copy, running. I'm not to copy, let's just show, running. And here we go. This is the password. This is the host name. Where's the message of the day? Password encrypted. Secret. Nothing actually has been assigned to those gigabytes. Even VLAN, I didn't do anything for that. I can assign. Well, we'll just keep the VLAN. We don't need to do that now. And here we go. This is message of the day. Password. Okay. Now I am going to go ahead and assign IP addresses to each one of those interfaces. So configure terminal interface G00. That's the network A. So let's go ahead. Description network A. IP address 192.168.75.1 255.255.255.224, and then no shutdown. Okay, he didn't like it, of course, because that's not shut down. As you can see here, things are changing. Fast forward, and I'm done with this part. Let's go ahead to the second network. The second interface. Let me since we're here, let's just do the IPv6 as well. IPv6 address, and we said the IP address is going to be 2000.dp8:A:164. And now I'm done with the first available IP address. I need to set the default, so the link local. So again, IPv6 address FE80:1 link local. And then no shutdown again. I don't need that, but let's just do that, exit, and I'm done. Now, to save myself some time, look what I'm going to do. I'm going to go all the way up. I'm pressing the up arrow button here just to go and change this to be 1 instead of 0. Now I'm going to go ahead and keep going up until I get to the IP address. Now for the IP address, I know this is going to be 33. So I'm going to go change it to 33. And I know this is going to be 248. So I'll change that to 448. And now after that, let's go ahead and do the link local. Here's the link local. Let's do the IPv6, which basically means I just have to change this to be B, and I'm done. So I got the IP address description. Let's see, where can I see the description? I'm just up, there's no description. So let's just go ahead and do that. Description, network B. And now, did I type no shutdown? No shut down, just to be sure, and then exit. Now if I close it, fast forward, it looks like everything's okay. Now if I click on, put the mouse here, just put the mouse here and look, you'll see that the G00 is up, G01 is up, this is 175, 175.33. It looks like everything's okay, 29. This is the subnet mask. Let me just make sure that I got this right. 27, 29, yes, everything's okay. Let me just go and do one last test. Before I do one last test, let's exit. Let's exit. Let's copy, running. And let's say show IP route And here we go. We are actually connected to two networks. So here it is. This is the one, the 33. Everything works okay. I can do the same thing for V6. And here we go. And I should have the link local here. Yep. Okay, now I am done. All that's left here is to do a test. Now remember, we said we didn't assign IPv6s here, so if I just click here, look at this. This is a PC. Oh, I know why. I forgot something very important. As I said before, routers by default they don't support IPv6. So we need to type IPv6 unicast routing exit. That, let's fast forward. Let's go ahead and try that again. And here we go. You can see I got it. And if I go here, click here, and I got it again. This is the default gateway. This is the link local for the computer, and this is the actual IP address, which basically is very long. I'm not going to test everything. I'm just going to give one test. So if I can get from this point to this point, and from this point to this point, that basically means everything between them should be okay. So let's go ahead and copy this IP address from here and try to ping it from here. Oh, remember, you click on the command prompt here. So ping, and you ping that IP address. Usually we lose the first one. Hopefully we will get to the, yep, here we go. So everything's okay. Now let's try to do the opposite. Ping. And I know that this is 1, so here we go. I got to the destination with no problems. Now I have to do the IPv6. The problem with IPv6, I need to write this down here, which is basically really, really long. So I'm just going to have to type it. 2000D DB8 ACAD, and again, here we go. A, that's the part that's going to share it, and then we got 20C85FF, and then we got FE39, and then we got 493. I'm not going to go and try them all. I'm just going to try. If I can get from this point to that point, then I should not have any problems. So let's go ahead and do that again. Ping again. And again, I'm going to have to type this. 2000 colon DP8 colon ACAD colon A colon 20C colon 85FF colon FE39 colon, I'm going to cry, 493, and then 64. I think he didn't like the 64 that I typed. Let's see here. Being request could not be found. Oh, good Lord. I made it. Oh, yeah, of course. Look at this. V. A C. I was able to connect it. Okay, so here we go. I completed what I can consider 80% of the skill exam right here. So remember, I'm going to post the Word document. I'm going to post the packet tracer file, and I'm going to post this video. So I guess I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Bye.